Let's make lemonade. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go, 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 go.
Six.
It's beautiful.
Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude.
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy first full day of summer. Good to have you along on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive and Willis Infinity. Save up to $10,000 on the 2026 QX80 and up to $6,000 in the QX60. Plus, take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months. The all-new 2027 QX65 is available on their lot today in multiple colors. Start your buying journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube this morning, good to have you here watching us. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave your comments in the comment section. You can call the show at 515-517-2303 and follow us on social media. He's into his next year, the birthday boy, the Father's Day man, Ross Peterson. I sent you out a social media birthday thing yesterday. I don't know if you saw it on X and Facebook.
Yeah, I saw a little dancing cowboy kid, something like that.
Yeah, little dancing cowboy.
Yeah. No, I was laughing this morning already because I watched Tropic Thunder again.
Oh, you did?
I did. Courtney hadn't seen it. She hadn't seen it. She'd only seen it once or twice, right? And so we sat down and, man, there are so many funny lines in there that we like. Ben Stiller at one point quotes the children's book that he wrote. And the name of the children's book is The Boy Who Made Other Kids Jealous.
I forget, where does that fall into the movie? I tried to remember that.
Ben Stiller's trying to, before they get sent off into the jungle, Ben Stiller is trying to rally all of the cast members and the crew, and to tell them, hey guys, we're really doing something special and important here. And he reads some quote from his children's book, which is also hysterical. The quote is like, "Together we can, if we all just think we can." And he goes, "That's a quote from the children's book I wrote titled The Boy Who Made Other Kids Jealous."
I'm going to have to go back and watch that now, because that's one of those lines I just don't remember.
100 of them.
So now the big question is, did Courtney like the movie?
Yeah. I mean, not as much as we do.
Well, it's not really geared towards the female population, but I didn't know if she was sitting around going, I watched the beginning of your show every single morning, and you have this thing from Tropic Thunder. I've never seen that. Should we watch this together on kind Father's Day?
I mean, it was. I think I said a quote from her. She goes, I've never really seen that. I'm like, oh, we got to watch it. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous movie.
But when you understand it and how they mock the entire culture, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just somebody asked if I was crying. I was laughing. I was laughing this morning, thinking of that's a quote from my children's book, The Boy Who Made Other Kids Jealous.
Oh God, that's funny. That is really good.
How was your weekend?
It was good. My wife left on Saturday. She's in New Orleans right now, getting ready to drive back with our daughter Mary. So Saturday and yesterday was just me and Greta hanging out. Owen and Lizzie just stopped by to say Happy Father's Day. It was one of those things where Greta wrote them and said, "Hey, should we make Dad dinner tonight? Should we make Dad dinner?" And then everybody was like, "Yeah, we'll come over and make Dad dinner." I'm like, "Hey, this is great. I'm going to get somebody to make me dinner." Owen and Lizzie show up, and they're like, Owen's like, I'm just not into the dinner thing. So Happy Father's Day, Dad. I'm tired. I'm going home. And I didn't know if he was really tired, if it was like, well, Dad didn't go grocery shopping and buy the steaks and buy everything. So we're just going to, we're going to go do something else. But Greta and I went out for dinner last night. We went to a little ice cream shop. I had a pork tenderloin.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And
yeah.
and this just says you're old. I got a butterscotch sundae. Is butterscotch one of those old man things? I'll have butterscotch.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, we were at the wedding last week. Maybe butterscotch is that smell. And Audrey sees my aunt. We don't see her much. Seen her a couple times. You know what I mean? She's my aunt.
Yeah.
And she's like, Audrey. And Audrey goes, and she goes, do you remember me? And Audrey goes, no. And she goes, I'm your aunt. He gives her a hug. And Audrey, who is normally a pretty sweet kid, hugs her and steps away and goes, you smell like an old person.
No filter right there. Just no filter.
And everybody's like, and I go, Audrey. And she goes, what? I like the smell of old people. It's a compliment.
At what age do you start smelling like an old person? Because
No.
a couple weeks ago, Ross, I was having a problem with body odor, and I've never had a problem with body odor. And I'm like, and it's gone away. I don't know what it is, but I'm like,
But you're worried it's the start of something?
yes. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this the start of the old person smell?
I don't know.
Maybe I should shower on a daily basis. I've been in like
That would help.
That would help, yeah.
What?
But I
Wait,
don't do
what?
anything physical. I'm usually in a every 2 to 3 day shower type thing. Change the undies. That's about it.
I've been
But
told I'm not supposed to wash my hair every day, but it's just part of the routine. It's just part of the routine. It's just.
I mean, if you're putting your head under the water, why does it hurt to put the shampoo on it?
That's.
I wash
but
my
again,
scalp.
Listen, I'm not the guy to be taking advice from.
We do have a busy Monday planned, scheduled today, and I always say scheduled because you knock on wood, and until it actually happens, you worry a little bit. But Beth Goetz, the athletic director of the University of Iowa, is scheduled to join us for another hour with the AD series.
I hope she comes on, and it's like Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. She goes on and she goes, "Which one of you two said you don't shower?"
Him. Key grip. Come punch him right in the face. Right in the face. But lots to talk about with Beth Goetz. Of course, you've got the Carver Hawkeye renovation coming up. You've got the Save College Sports Act. You've got NIL. You've got the SEC and the Big Ten and all this stuff. So should be a fascinating conversation with Beth Goetz from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and we're looking forward to that. Ross, I don't know if you saw what happened on Friday. I didn't even know this was in the state legislature, but it's been passed and it's gone into law. They are now going to allow, and I need to preface this by saying the Iowa High School Athletic Association did not want this, did not ask for this. The Iowa Girls Union did not want this, did not ask for this. But eighth graders, starting in August, can now compete in high school sports. They are allowing eighth graders.
What?
Yes. A new rule.
Okay. Didn't know about this.
Will allow eighth graders to start participating in high school sports, meaning that you could have an eighth grade varsity basketball player. You could have an eighth grade varsity football player. You could have an eighth grade star track athlete. Eighth graders are now going to be allowed to participate in high school sports.
And this is not just like the summer sports. Like when I was a kid, when you were in eighth grade, you could play high school sports after you were out of eighth grade.
That is correct.
Summer going into your freshman year, you could play softball and baseball.
Yeah,
and that was a big deal because we had kids that lettered as eighth graders. That was a really big deal. So as an eighth grader, you could play basketball.
You can play basketball. You can play football. You can play any sport that is being offered at the high school level.
Tyler asks a clarifying question here. So an 18-year-old could be tackling a 13-year-old?
Absolutely. Now, usually in eighth grade, you're going to be 14. You might be 13, but that's a true thing. And it's meant for a couple reasons.
Okay.
Low participation in some sports. Girls basketball is getting harder and harder to field teams.
Dude, listen, East High softball won a state title not long ago. They're having to combine with another metro school.
You have smaller schools in the rural areas that are having numbers problems. So you go, how do you deal with that? And there's always an unintended consequence, meaning you can have injuries, but if you take away from if you have eighth graders moving up, then you have lower participation in the middle school ranks, right? You go, okay, we can't field a team in the middle school
team because the eighth graders are moving up. You're just robbing Peter to pay Paul at some point there, you're saying? So Travis, the Iowa High School Athletic Association wasn't asking for this. The Girls Athletic Association wasn't asking for this.
Nope.
What does it say whose idea this was or why who pursued that, who pushed it?
It just says, upon the bill being passed by the House of Representatives and the Senate and then signed by Governor Kim Reynolds, the State Board of Education was directed to adopt emergency rules with an effective date no later than August 1st. For decades, eighth graders have been eligible to compete in summer sports for baseball for boys and softball for girls, but not every sport. The decisions on which, if any, eighth graders are elevated to the high school level, whether it's varsity or sub-varsity, will be made by a case-by-case basis by the individual school districts. They talk about local control. In today's world of open enrollment and transfers, I can see this adding another issue, said Iowa West Athletics Director B.J. Meyer. Think about that. So you have the open enrollment. So now when does recruiting start? And if you don't think high schools recruit, you're living under a rock, okay? And Ross, they should have changed the entire transfer rule. So when they changed the waiting time from 90 days to 140 days for students 9th through 12th grade. If you're going to allow 8th graders to participate in high school sports, that wait time should extend to an 8th grader, right? Because what sports or is it really viable that an 8th grader could go play?
I mean,
at the varsity level?
On the girls' side, I think there are several more. I think on the girls' side, it would be possible to see an 8th grade volleyball player
absolutely
playing varsity, basketball, swimming. On the men's side, on the boys' side, baseball. I've seen 8th graders play varsity baseball at big schools. It's rare, but occasionally you get an 8th grader that's a really, really real stud. I can't imagine an 8th grader being able to compete against a Dowling or a Southeast Polk in football. I couldn't imagine an 8th grader competing with some of those suburban schools in basketball. I mean, dude, we had Hawkeyes a couple years ago had 4 or 5 Division I dudes. I've never seen an 8th grader in the state of Iowa. I mean, maybe like a Ricky Davis. I've never seen an 8th grader in the state of Iowa that a boy that was that good. Is it possible? Maybe plays. Football, I can't see it.
Either can I. I can't see it in football.
Look at this. See, there's so many things we don't think about. Our brains are so tiny. We just think, sorry, not you, not that, Dusty. Hold your horses. Iowa Norseman says our son was a 5-year letter winner shooting trap. Now, could an 8th grader be as good at shooting trap as a senior? Yeah. There's no physical contact there, but this is weird, Trav. I don't know why if you can't support your sport, and the thing that's going to save it is being able to pull the 8th graders up to play it. Man, that seems like a short-term fix to me.
We've talked for years on this show how is it in the best interest, and this is radical, I understand it. Is it in the best interest for schools to field sports anymore? When you look at the number of specialized sports and the club atmosphere that takes place, is it better off shifting all that to a club? The hardest one would be football because there's not club football anymore.
Yeah, not at this level. Not at that level that you have all those other sports are built, have all the infrastructure for all those things, Trav, like you're talking about. This is a weird one. I've had several people reach out. I've had a few people say this in the comment section, how this will impact wrestling.
I could see an 8th grade wrestler at a lower weight being competitive.
Yep.
Or is this one of those things where it sounds worse than what it really is? Meaning, I could see it at a Tri-Center Neola or an Underwood or a Trainer or an Irwin or even some of these schools that feel like 8-man football. I could see that.
Listen, I think you might be underselling the impact it might be having on some of the bigger schools. North and Hoover have had to combine athletic programs. A lot of the Hoover kids play baseball at Roosevelt, or the North kids play some varsity sports at East. So even the bigger schools are having a hard time fielding. I mean, like I just said with the volleyball or the softball team, rather. Not long ago, East High softball won a state title. This year, they had to combine with North. So it's not just the small. I agree that this is probably going to impact the small schools a little bit more, but I think that might impact the big schools as well. And as I'm saying this out loud, maybe we're justifying why they need to do it. But it just seems odd. I'm with you, Trav. If you can't, you don't have the numbers to do it now. Pulling up 8th graders probably isn't going to solve the problem.
And then all of a sudden, are we letting 5th graders play middle school?
Yeah, right. That's a good question. Why stop it at 8th grade? What if there's a physically mature 7th grader? There's not much difference between 7th graders and 8th graders.
Starting them younger and younger. And I'm telling you right now, the open enrollment thing is just changing a lot of things. And don't be surprised if kids start transferring to different schools a lot earlier, especially if they don't have to wait that 140 days in 8th grade as opposed to 90 days when it is now.
The way politics works, like, don't be surprised if there's a kid from Decatur who's a 7th grader who's a stud, and they did it because they want. I would really like to know, since the Athletic Association wasn't asking for it, neither one. I wonder where this came from. Who stood up and shouted loud enough that the legislatures decided we need to get involved here?
Because that's all we need is more government intervention into.
This seems kind of weird to me that they would do this.
Now, to be clear, Iowa's not the only state. Iowa becomes the 25th state to allow this, so they're not alone with this. It's not something radical as far as a new. Oh my God, Iowa's paving the way here. No, they're. Half the states allow this to happen.
Allow 8th graders just to play full high school sports. That is weird. Whatever. Okay.
It'd be interesting is if you get a super stud 8th grader that starts breaking records, and you get 5 years to do it as opposed to 4 years to do that.
Yeah. Career records.
Yeah.
The James Peterson Clement record, the home run record. I could see a kid at a 1A, 2A, 3A being an 8th grader who could play varsity baseball. I mean, it'd be rare at the 4A level, but I think it could happen. Or
Remember the guy by the name of Damon Bailey? Remember Damon Bailey?
Hold on. What is that? Where is that in my head? What is that?
Damon Bailey is a former Indiana basketball player who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, who I believe Bob Knight offered a scholarship to in like 8th grade. It was like, at the time, so far ahead of the recruiting game, like Bob Knight offers a full ride to Damon Bailey. So that's where we're at. Did you watch any World Cup you watch Team USA on Friday?
Yeah, I did watch a little bit. Went down to Fong's on Friday. Had lunch down there. Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun. Yeah, it was fun being there as the we were there for the first half when the U.S. went up 2-0. Then that second, it was fun time. It was exactly what I had hoped it would be. Had great pizza, had a good drink, had some fun times. Saw the U.S. score, and now it's on to play Turkey. When did we start changing Turkey to Turkey?
I think now for the World Cup, we have done that because the American or English translation of how it's pronounced is Turkey, right? But in Turkey, it's Turkey.
Whatever.
Turkey. Yeah.
When's that game? When do we beat up on Turkey?
Thursday.
In a game that doesn't matter, right? Game that doesn't matter because we're already on to the next round. So, okay.
Yeah. But the whole pronunciation thing, it's like it's Turkey. All right. Don't sit there and try to be, well, we need to assimilate. Well, when you go to Italy, what town do you think of in Italy? Rome?
Rome. Yeah. Not Roma.
It's Roma. In Florence, it's Firenze. I don't walk around and say Firenze. I say I'm going to Florence. I say I'm going to Rome. If I end up in Turkey someday, which I doubt I ever will, I'm going to Turkey.
Yeah, some neat stuff in Turkey.
There's a lot of history in Turkey.
Göbekli Tepe. They got a lot of interesting stuff over there.
Is that one of those rabbit holes you go down of like conspiracy theories and like alien invasions and stuff like that?
Yeah, kind of like that. Kind of like that. It's an old thing that they found buried under a hill. It's older than the pyramids. It's crazy.
See, I wish I was you on Friday because I wasn't able to get out of the office. And
okay.
you had, and so I'm literally watching the game in my office by myself.
Oh, yeah, it's not as fun.
It's not as fun. In fact, it's boring, right? And I was seeing photos come up from Fong's, and I'm like, oh, that's what it's like to be there with people who are celebrating because there is energy there. We talked about it last week. You know, they would go, here you have all these people in Seattle watching the game, and they'd go to shots of people just sitting in the suites, you know, just watching the game. It's not like that football atmosphere. It's just, oh, okay, we're chilling. We're chilling.
I had fun. It was a good time. It was what I expected. And now I don't know what to expect against the Turkey game because it's a pointless game.
A lot of people are asking, do you, and I don't know enough about soccer to say this, but do you rest your stars? Do you because it means nothing?
Yeah, I don't
or do you
know
try to keep that momentum? I don't know. And now a lot of people are like, the USA could win the World Cup. They're playing that well. I don't think that's possible, but what do I know? I guess anything is possible.
I don't know enough to say one way or the other. I don't think so, but go USA. I'm not rooting for them to lose. That's for sure.
I believe that we will win.
Sure. Yeah. Tyler says he was down there at Fong's. He says, I got so much free Coca-Cola shit.
That's good. We want to thank Atlantic Coca-Cola Bottling for giving away that free stuff.
And the guys that know, so like, okay, we don't know. Tyler knows. Anyone saying we won the World Cup is insane. Brian knows. Brian says no chance.
I'll take your words for it.
Alan says anyone with a yellow card will sit. Pulisic. That dude, the guy that we know, he's going to sit. The one that we know whose name we can't pronounce.
Hey, folks, do you need new floors? Because if you do, Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant has you covered with carpet, hardwood, tile, luxury vinyl, and more, plus expert sales and installation you can trust. That's Iowa Floor Covering. Good people, great floors. Visit iowafloorcovering.com today. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
When you work with a company like Mr. Electric that goes above and beyond and makes the customer their priority, that is just a real joy to encounter these days. It was a fairly complicated project and it was intimidating. They made it look so easy and they were very professional, very clean folks. They thoroughly explain what they're going to do. It's clear that they're experienced and that they know what they're doing. Having professionals out there that can do that for me, that gives me a lot of peace of mind.
When I'm meeting a new patient, I want them to feel comfortable knowing that odds are I've seen something like this before.
From the moment a patient steps into the room to the moment the patient leaves the office, I think they're going to get a great experience.
I think it feels good coming in and feeling like it's a community here and you get to be a part of that community and get to be taken care of by that community.
My goal is when they walk out of there to know that I'm fighting for them, I'm pulling for them.
Schedule an appointment at iowauro.com.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat, Norm. Norm knows basketball, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert. Please call me. I would love to help you.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A brand new Cadillac Optic is the perfect accoutrement to all your summer adventures. And with 0.9% financing, it's a great deal. We also have up to $2,000 in Conquest cash for qualified non-Cadillac owners towards a lease or purchase of our lineup of EVs. And even if more deals interest you, we have a CT5 Sport fresh out of our service loaner fleet with $7,500 off plus rebates. Stop into our showroom or visit us online at williscadillac.com.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
I hope you're stretched, hydrated, and prepared for more nonsense, because The Rush with Travis and Ross, presented by Willis Automotive, is back now.
NASCAR is coming back to the Iowa Speedway August 7th through the 9th, and the Iowa Lottery has your chance at a winning VIP experience for the whole weekend, plus a chance to meet two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion Kyle Larson, a private trailer tour, pace car ride, and so much more. Use your Powerball tickets to enter through 9/59 on July 14th for a chance to win an Iowa Speedway prize package that includes cash, merchandise, and more. But wait, there is more. Keep on entering through 9:59 on August 11th for a chance to win $10,000 cash and become a semifinalist in the national promotion NASCAR Powerball. For more information, go to IALottery.com and become a VIP club member by going to IALottery.com/VIP. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Coming up at 7 o'clock, Beth Goetz scheduled to join us for our Hour with the AD series. We'll be talking Hawkeyes today, and then Jamie Pollard from Iowa State going to be joining us on Wednesday. Ross, you know, when I left the radio station, I quit on the air, and I did that because I wanted to work with you. I didn't have any idealistic ideas about corporate radio or what my role was. I know a lot of people were mad at me the way I did it. There was a reason the way I did it because, well, when you got to keep a secret, you got to keep a secret, right? So I quit on the air. Last Friday, a guy by the name of Dustin Nolan, who works at KWQC in the Quad Cities, quit his TV job on the air. And he did it for a different reason, or so we're led to believe. He's become kind of a viral sensation right now. He was featured in the New York Post. His clip has gone almost everywhere because, you know, for the sake of journalism, Ross, here's the resignation that we have from Dustin Nolan on KWQC.
Well, I'll try to get through this. Well, before we go this morning, I have an announcement. Today is my last day here at KWQC TV6. I have chosen to step away from the news industry. Before I say goodbye, I just want to say I hope every one of you that's allowed me to be a part of your mornings know just how important that I have taken this job. How much it means to me that you've trusted me these past few years to bring you the news in the morning. I promise you I've given you everything I have. I've never tried to be perfect or what many think a newsman is supposed to be, but I have always done my best to be transparent, bring you the facts, and I've always been myself. I've loved being able to provide a public service to this place we all call home, the Quad Cities. When it comes to this job, all I've ever wanted to do is report on the issues that really matter. I've always believed that we, as a local news station, owe you, the viewers, the best that we can do, because without you, none of us would be able to do this job. I also believe that we, as a local news station, have to be more than trends or sanitized news because it makes people feel uncomfortable. That's why the facts matter, and that's why we do what we do here. We have to take people out of their bubbles and comfort zones and make them think about the world we all live in. And this—
All right.
Why are you so upset? Why are you so angry? You're so mad. What the hell? That upset you, didn't it?
Well, here's the deal. We saw it with like when Scott Pelley went nuts on Barry Weiss, right? And everybody hides behind the cloak of journalism. And you see these old people come back and Walter Cronkite's turning over in his grave. And then everybody wants to preach the thing that is journalism. If you get into TV news, I'm going to keep newspapers out of this, okay? If you get into TV news and you think you are a journalist, you are wrong. If you are an idealist, you are wrong. At the end of the day, TV news is entertainment. It's just the facts. I knew that when I was on television for 20 years. I always knew that it was entertainment. I'm not saying there's not news that you deliver.
Yeah.
But why do people watch Channel 13? Why do people watch Keith Murphy? Is it because he's a great journalist, or is it because Keith is entertaining? It's because Keith is entertaining, and they trust him. Why do they watch Ed Wilson? Because he has the best forecast? No, because you like the guy, and he makes you laugh.
There's a connection there in some way with those guys. There's a connection.
There.
Always has been.
These anchors that get up and read You're an info porter. That's it. You're not a reporter. You're an info porter. You're a reader. And the truth is, the way broadcasting is today, and Ross, you've seen this on the radio side. I saw it on the news side. When I started in television news in the early 90s, progressing up to when I retired from television news in 2010, the industry had changed a lot, meaning it became so corporate driven that when you had reporters that could actually report and spend, hey, I'm working on an investigation. It took a month to complete the investigation. You don't have the time nor the resources to actually do that. You know what you do? You go cover the groundbreakings. You go cover the ribbon cuttings. You go whatever they send on a press release. That's not news. That's not going to make you feel uncomfortable.
Travis, now I understand what you're saying. I got a couple questions, I guess. How long had Dustin Nolan worked at KWQC?
I think since 2022. I think he graduated.
Not a crazy amount of time. 4 or 5 years?
Not a crazy amount of time, yeah.
Okay, all right. Enough time that you get into it thinking, this is going to be great.
Bingo.
This is going to be great, man. I'm going to be able to tell people stories. I'm going to be able to help my community. And you get 4 or 5 years into it, and that's about the time that you go,
this isn't what I thought it was going to be. People hated it when I went and spoke to classes when I was a sports director. And I always told them, I go, hey, if you're getting in this just to be a reporter and an idealist, don't do it. If you want to move up and get to ESPN or Los Angeles, you're going to have to fuck over your buddy. All right? That's just the way it is. And people look at you, no, my work will speak for itself. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It matters the way you look. It matters the way you sound. It matters how you play the game. If you're an idealist, you're not going to last very long.
When I sat down with the GM for WHO TV during the Ian Roberts thing, and I said, you guys don't have reporters. Yeah, we got great reporters. No, you don't. You have repeaters.
Bingo.
You don't have reporters. You have repeaters. They're told stuff, they repeat it. I'm sorry. And it's not their fault. They wanted to be reporters. They want that. That's what their desire was to find news stories, break news stories, help a community. Travis, you nailed it. Now it's what shows up on the AP wire.
Or who sent in a news release?
Dude, there was a fight one time outside of the fairgrounds. Big fight. Guy got stabbed. We knew the police knew all about it. I had people that were on the ground on the scene. We talked about it on the radio. The news director said, we aren't going to do a news story on it. I swear to God. Why? Because none of the other stations are doing it. We're going to be the only ones talking about it. None of the
Doesn't make it not news.
None of the other stations are doing this. We're not doing it. I tried to talk about this with that Monsanto thing a couple months ago, right? Like, I saw this. Why doesn't WHO News Radio have a story about how farms are destroying the water in Des Moines, Iowa? You know where their bread gets buttered? You jackass. It ain't news. It's a TV show. It's a TV show. So I don't blame Dustin Nolan. I like what he said. I listen to that and I go, good for you, man. Good for you. And especially knowing he was there for 4 or 5 years. Like I feel like that's the time when you can stand up and go, all right, I tried. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. I just wanted to be on the radio. That's what I was a kid. I just wanted to be on the radio. I thought that was going to be fun. I was working on WHO radio. Hell yeah. That's a dream come true. So I can't blame Dustin Nolan. I understand now why it upset you. At first, I was like, that's why I came back and
it's him. It's the idea that you matter, right? It's the idea that you think that you're there to. There's no journalism there. If you think there is, I'm sorry, your opinion got jaded.
Tony, and this is what you're saying, what Tony's saying here. When anchors start to think their political ideology needs expression, read the news.
An honest to God question. I was thinking about this the other day. How many of you people that are listening right now, and you can email me, Travis@therushladio.com, you can comment, actually turn on the news every single night and watch the local news?
Dude, Ed, you know how long it's been since I've watched the local news? I don't even remember, Travis. 20 years?
But you'll probably watch Sound Off. Why is that? Because Keith Murphy and Andy Fales are entertaining.
When I see the clips of them, that absolutely.
It's infotainment is what it is.
Local news? You get that from Twitter, X, Facebook. You don't get that from local. We don't have local news.
Kaylin says, "I do. Should I be ashamed? No, you shouldn't be ashamed.
No, not at all, Kaylin. I'm glad you. In fact, maybe I shouldn't even. You have more authority to speak on it than I do, Kaylin, because I haven't watched it in a long time.
But I will ask you, Kaylin, do you watch the same channel every night? And why do you? It's probably because There's like
comfort.
Those people.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw just the other day, I think Mike Lozano died.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was like last week.
I worked with Mike for just a little bit when I was at KCCI. Yeah. He
Lou
wouldn't know me from Adam, but.
Yeah. Lou Seipold got put into the Iowa Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Lou and Larry. Morgan and Moffat. These are all comfort things. Jack Emerson doing the jokes in the. I mean, comfort. Keith Murphy. You say Keith Murphy. I don't think sportscaster. I think.
Do you think journalist? I guarantee you don't think journalist.
I think Buddy.
Exactly.
Ed Wilson. I think. That guy's. He's a buddy. Andy Fales. And Fales is much more of a journal. Like he does real news.
Sure. It's an entertainment program that comes on for half hour every single night. You guys tune in the morning every day with us, not because of the stuff we talk about or we're breaking anything, probably because I like those two guys.
Yeah.
And if you don't like us, nobody'd be listening to us. I understand that. But when go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't blame Dustin Nolan.
No, it's just one of those things where you know how many lawyers I know? I go, I was a lawyer. Why aren't you a lawyer? Because I went into it wanting to help the world, and then I realized it was about billable hours. Yes, you go be a lawyer. If you're an idealist lawyer who wants to change the world through policy, you should probably just go straight into politics or go work for a nonprofit. You're not going to change the world working for a firm. Give me the hours. If you're a TV person, there's two things that get you out of TV real quick. If you're an idealist who goes, I'm going to tell stories, well, then you realize I'm not telling any stories. Or if you're just doing it to be on television, you realize that goes out the door real quick. I was on television for 20 plus years. I did it because I'm an egomaniac and a narcissist. I could recognize that.
I'm glad you played that. I hadn't seen it, and I can see why it's kind of going viral. I appreciate his emotion in it too.
But you know why it goes viral? Because it's somewhat entertaining. You're like, let's watch this guy quit on the air. Right. Wasn't anything he said. The exact story he loathes meaning it was about him, is his most popular story he's ever done.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
So, and by the way, you know who's liking it? KWQC. They put that on their Facebook page. And you know how many views it's getting? They're like, look at all the views we're getting.
Views. Look at the views.
He's making his money on the way out the door.
Dustin, we'd just like to say thank you. Our most viral video we've had. And in the back rooms, that's a success. We got the clicks, guys. We did it. We finally did it. Look, we can go to our bosses and show them that we got a video that's got 7 million views. Everybody relax. Sleep easy tonight, boys. We did it.
Coach brings up a good point when it comes to radio. How many people hated Rush Limbaugh but listened to him on a daily basis and then try to call him in an effort to get him in an effort to get him?
That was the thing of Howard Stern, right? In Private Parts, there was the thing of 40% of the people say they love him. They listen to him because they can't wait to hear what he says next. 60% of the people say they hate him. They listen to him because they want to hear what he says next.
You can be polarizing. I think Fox News falls into that. I don't think people love Fox News, but they just want to see what the hell are they going to say next. And that's where the lines got blurred. Cable television changed everything. What I mean by that is that it used to be your local news and then the nightly news on CBS. And it was that was news. And all of a sudden you had 24 hours and you had, how do we fill 24 hours? You go, well, we need if we throw some opinion shows on there, then that's where the lines got blurred.
I think that the line got blurred with the breaking news. When you can turn on a TV station 24 hours a day, 365, and see breaking news, you've watered that down. When the 24-hour news cycle, I remember doing Jan's show, and what was the lady's name? Was it Anna Nicole Smith? Was she the lady with the great big boobs that had married the Texas billionaire, like at the end of his life, and it was all about love, right?
Yep.
And then she died.
Yep.
And dude, and the news, the 24-hour news cycles treated it like Princess Diana had died. Like some sort of dignitary had passed away. They started breaking into breaking news. The Fox News news desk here. Anna Nicole Smith, breast size 39 triple G, is dead. Who cares?
Or the Bronco chases, right? I mean,
things like that. That was and then it all becomes silos and things like that. We can get people if we just preach to them, just feed them what they want to hear.
On the local side, you know what the most talked about story was on a local news story? They always called it the kicker. There was like a competition of who could find the water skiing squirrel for the end of the show.
Yeah. Yeah. And in our final note tonight,
look at Skippy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The water skiing squirrel. So
interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Hey, folks, we want to remind you about the Rush Freedom Feast presented by the Iowa Fireworks Farm. That's right. You can pick up an $800 Mob Stars fireworks pack from the Iowa Fireworks Farm, a $250 Weber kettle grill from Ace Hardware of Johnson and Ankeny, and a barbecue bundle box from Des Moines Bacon Company just by going to therushladio.com and click on the promo tab, and you'll see the Freedom Feast. All you have to do is give us your name, your address, your telephone number, your date of birth, and that's all you have to do to register. It's very, very, very simple. But if you want to win even more, you can email me a patriotic photo, Travis at therushladio.com. We have weekly winners. But the 4th of July just right around the corner, and we want you to celebrate in style with fireworks, with a grill, and, of course, food. It is the Rush Freedom Feast giveaway presented by the Iowa Fireworks Farm. And I believe, Ross, Wade's going to be on with us tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wade's going to be on with us tomorrow.
I saw some people expressing their freedoms over the weekend. I think breaking the law. I think breaking the law. But I saw some people expressing some freedoms. I haven't seen this. I don't know if I've actually seen this happen. I was driving down Grand over by the fairgrounds. Okay. So I'm on like East 26th and Grand. Okay. I'm in the heart of it. And I'm traveling eastbound on Grand, and there's a Tesla coming westbound. Okay.
By the way, this is news. I mean, if you think about it, this is this. If you would have captured it on video, you could have sold it to WHO, KCCI, WOI.
So much I would have had a video of this. I wish so much I would have. As I'm driving eastbound on Grand, I can see a Tesla, this white Tesla, in the westbound lanes, but it's 5 or 6 blocks ahead of me. It's backing up at the same. I'm going about 30 miles an hour. It's backing up at 30 miles an hour in the other lanes. And even Audrey's like, the Tesla going backwards? Yeah. So I see the Tesla like turn off then. It does, like almost kind of like a parallel park thing, turns towards the curb. And lady jumps out of the Tesla, goes over to a house on the north side of Grand. It's got a political sign in the yard. And she goes over and rips the political sign out of the yard and like throws it into the street.
So destruction of public property or destruction of private property and littering. Okay, we've got a couple charges.
So I'm like, damn, this lady hates that candidate and or sign. Right? Or that neighbor or all of the above. So as I'm driving past the lady now at this point, she's getting back into her Tesla. Okay. So I keep driving towards the fairgrounds and she drives like 3 or 4 houses and pulls into a driveway. It was an Ashley Hinson sign, by the way, if you were wondering who the candidate was. She was unhappy with.
Not in my neighborhood.
Apparently. And I don't even know. Did Ashley Hinson win or lose? Do you know?
I think she won the primary.
Okay. Well, this lady wasn't happy about it. Whichever outcome it was, this particular woman in a white Tesla was unhappy with the Ashley Hinson sign being in her neighborhood or having driven past it.
First of all, I don't allow political signs in my yard.
Smart.
Yeah, because I don't think a political sign changes anybody. Hey, Donnie over there is voting for such and such. We better vote for him too.
No, I hadn't thought of it like that.
Yeah, not going to do that. I just don't need political signs in my yard. And you know where I live. I live on a pretty busy corner, right? So it's a valuable corner. When I get politicians all the time.
Could you imagine somebody doing that in the ballot box? Like you're in there and you're like, man, I'm not sure. Do I vote for Smith or Jones? You know, my neighbor says Smith.
Yeah. Goldie Wilson.
I always like Bill. Bill seems like he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to go with his. I'm going to go with his guy.
Probably happens more than what you want to believe.
Oh, dude.
Man. I'm just curious about the Tesla. Because, you know, the Tesla and its electric engine can go like 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. I mean, it's got some giddy up to start. Can it go like, when you said it was going in reverse and pretty fast, does it go just as fast in reverse as it does forward?
I'll tell you this, dude. The thing was moving. I don't know how fast it was going backwards. I really would say it was pretty close to 30. The thing was moving to the point you noticed it. You know, I mean, my 9-year-old noticed it from 5-6 blocks away. Like, well, that's weird. You know, when you're driving backwards too, you don't have the same. It's kind of, you know what I mean. The car is.
She's probably using that backup camera, and the Tesla's got.
She
like
was
the 15
angry.
inch.
I think she was just. I think she was had. I think you're probably right. She had gunned it. to get a yard sign out of a yard, to get a political sign, and then just to launch it in the street too. You're just laying in front of the guy's house now.
So he could walk out in the street and put it back in the yard.
Put it back in the yard. I don't remember being that mad about something.
I bet she's a peach to live with.
Oh, buddy.
Just a peach. Man. You know what she needs to do? She needs to relax, unwind, and go someplace.
I know a place.
Where would you send her, Ross?
The problem probably is trying to find that second person to go with her.
True. Nobody wants to hang out with her.
But if you've got somebody that you would like to spend 4 incredible nights and 3 unbelievably memorable days with, I've got a trip for you. $1,200 per person to go up to Ballard's Black Island, up in the Lake of the Woods in the Canadian wilderness. It's an unbelievable trip, one that I've been able to take with dozens of friends and have made millions of memories, and I encourage you to do the same. If you call Danielle, she can get you set up with what dates are still available. Again, $1,200 per person. This is a 4-night, 3-day full package fishing trip. 218-634-1996. You can go to blackisland.com. You'll see some of the photos. I think I told you this, Trav. Last week I was there, and one of the photos is me and the buddies having shore lunch. Yeah.
You're an internet sensation.
It's what we do. It's what we do. 218-634-1996 for Ballard's Black Island.
We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. We are scheduled to be joined by Beth Goetz, athletic director at the University of Iowa, for our Hour with the AD series. When we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire. A front row tickets to every show-yonaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you could change your life for life. Play today.
At Iowa Floor Covering, we believe great floors start with great service. Whether you're looking for a plush carpet, durable LVP, timeless hardwood, stylish laminate, or beautiful tile, including custom tile showers, we'll help you find the perfect fit. No pressure, no pushy sales tactics, just honest guidance from a team that listens. DIY Weekend Warrior, we've got the products and advice to set you up for success. Iowa Floor Covering, floors you'll love from people you can trust.
There are a lot of reasons to want a self-driving mower from Iowa Mobotics.
Being automated gives me more time to do my hobbies.
I travel so much for work that I don't have time to take care of the lawn, but I still care about how it looks.
And I'm just lazy. Gives me time to work in the wood shop instead of spending it on the mower.
It works in my schedule.
And I just really hate doing it.
No matter your reason, with Iowa Mobotics, spend less time mowing, more time living.
Summer savings are on at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. Get a new 2026 Silverado 1500 with 0% financing for up to 60 months. Drive a new 2026 Trax for 2.9% financing for 48 months, or lease for just $309 a month. Need more space? Get a new Equinox with 3.9% financing for 60 months, or lease for only $279. Plus, shop a large inventory of Car Bravo pre-owned vehicles with options to fit every budget. Great savings to start your summer off right at Willis Chevy in Granger, or online at willischevy.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bread, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Try our newly rebranded granola. Specially handmade, our amazing granola makes for a delightful treat. You can order online, purchase at local grocery retailers, or find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday. We look forward to serving.
The following advertisement is for people who like to save money.
Do you or a loved one suffer from chronic overspending, getting less but paying more? Then you may have a case of big HVAC. Now is the time to try Priority One. We set our own prices, which means you pay for what you need, not for anything else. And if you need a heating service or new furnace, now is the time to try Priority One.
Side effects of Priority One include increased happiness, extra peace of mind, and bonus cash for whatever you want. Please use responsibly.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
The Rush, presented by Willis Automotive, is back because apparently Travis and Ross have even more to say.
Hey, Trav, you're muted.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive and Willis Nissan. Drive the 2026 Pathfinder for just $199 a month. A stylish sedan with impressive tech, comfort, and value at a price that is hard to beat. Start your buying journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. Watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and of course, leave your comments in the comment section. And you can follow us on our social media channels. Our Hour with the AD series continues. Last week we had Brian Harden and Meg Franklin. Today we're kicking things off with an hour with the University of Iowa Athletic Director Beth Goetz, who joins us now live from Iowa City. Good morning, Beth. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys this morning?
Doing wonderful. Thanks for giving us time again. We greatly appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
A whole hour. I hope you're prepared for that.
Yeah.
What a great way to start the week.
Yeah,
I'm ready to roll.
We've got a lot to talk about. It's not like we're going to be short on topics. There's been a lot of changes here recently. How have things been in your office? Has it felt chaotic these last couple of I don't even want to say weeks, months. Have you had a chance to really find a path or a consistent feel with the NCAA in your time as athletic director?
I think it is a little bit of a new normal. We used to sort of ride the cycle just of the different seasons in athletics, and now we've had this change in and around us probably really since COVID, I would say. But I think we all get comfortable living in a new environment, and so it's been it's great just here on campus, the people I get to be surrounded by, and we're just going to keep navigating and adjusting as needed with the outside world.
The big thing right now is the Save College Sports Act. I don't know if it needs saving, but that's just my personal opinion. The SEC and the Big Ten are not fully on board with this. You have the ACC and the Big 12 that is. From a Big Ten perspective, tell us why the Big Ten is not fully on board with the Save College Sports Act.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'd say, we really are appreciative that they're diving in, and there are some things that would be incredibly helpful. And so I know they spent a lot of time on college athletics, so we're appreciative of our representatives for doing that. And generally speaking, we'd love to see something like the Protect College Sports Act go through. But there's just a few nuances that I think we need them to look at. And a lot of it's a lot of nuance in the legalese. I mean, some of the state preemption components, for example, I think can be really helpful. Otherwise, as we've seen with some other cases, you sort of have rulings taking place state by state, in a national governance situation. And while that's a part of that, we think it needs to be, maybe the language needs to even be a little stronger. So there's just a handful of nuances that, you would hope that as they continue to work through that, there's a chance we'll be able to fully support what they're putting forward.
What are some of the things with the Save College Sports Act that you do support or do like or think would benefit the University of Iowa?
Yeah, I think from a big picture standpoint, we've got a national organization, and obviously you need the ability to make rules and enforce them, and that's probably as basic as it gets. And we've been unable to do that, partly due to some of the state laws and the decisions we're seeing in courtrooms. But there's also some antitrust issues and things like that. And so I think overall the ability for for governance to allow us to operate by rules that we think are important, but that for them to be applied consistently and fairly across the membership, I think is really important. So for example, they actually call out a few of those. So they note the 5-year eligibility component, which is something that's also working its way currently through the NCAA cycle that we think will certainly be a positive. So that would be one example of the things that are in there that I think can be helpful.
Another thing in there is revenue, right? Because revenue is the big thing, and they've talked about pooling TV rights, and I don't think the SEC and the Big Ten are quite on board with that. What do you think about pooling TV rights? Is there more value in pooling everybody together, or is the SEC and the Big Ten big enough to where they're like, hey, we've got the brands. We think we can do better by not pooling everybody together?
Yeah, well, first of all, the way it's currently written in there, it's sort of an optional opportunity to buy in. And so from that perspective, the Big Ten would have the ability to choose to get involved in that or not. I think, there's a lot of mixed messages, and at the end of the day, you'd have to have a real evaluation done to see if the numbers come out in a way that some have suggested they were. But I think we feel like we're in a really good place right now. There's a lot of value in our conference top to bottom, and I think it's been positioned well. And so, I think we'd prefer that we continue to move forward in the manner that we are.
That I think is one of the biggest questions. Is things have changed so much with the financials. How do you even prepare for this kind of changing landscape and what seems to be an ever increasing ticket that you're going to have to figure out how to cover? What's the plan for the next 5 years of these increasing costs?
Yeah, we need a little more revenue these days. I was just joking with a young student who was interested in following a path to athletic administration. It used to be back in the day, you had to be an expert at one thing, and then people thought, well, maybe you needed a MBA. Now maybe you need to go to law school. Now I think you need to be a politician. So it's a little bit of everything, but I think revenue generation's on the top of everybody's mind. And you know what, I'll tell you, as challenging and as stressful as it can be, it's also a lot of fun to really think about it in that way. And so, we are certainly a big business, but we're a values-based business. And so our decisions are always going to be made in the best interest of our student athletes and our institution. But it's given us, I think, an opportunity to think more creatively. And so, you can think about the basic things in college sports, whether that's, how you price your tickets and those types of things. But there's some creativity that goes around how you utilize your facilities, how you think about sponsorships. And so there's really, one of those things where there's nothing off the table as long as it aligns with your mission. But it's going to continue to grow. And again, I think it's a challenge, but it's a fun one to be a part of, to make sure that we continue to sustain what we're doing here.
You use the term student athlete, and Nick Saban, when he testified in front of Congress, said it needs to change to athlete student just because of the money they're making now. It's how do you view that? Are they student athletes or are they athlete students?
Well, I don't want to speak to any other institution and how they operate, but our students are going to class. They are graduating at sometimes at a higher clip than our regular student body. We've got an 89% graduation rate, 3.29. Coach Ferentz's team just came off their highest GPA in his entire tenure this spring semester. And so, and they also happen to be incredibly successful, in their sport of choice. And so, to that intent, I'm not sure much has changed other than they're performing better in the classroom than I think they ever have before. Yes, they have more dollars. Some have more dollars in their pockets, but that's still not the vast majority. And so when we're on campus here, and whether I see a student athlete who's had an opportunity to earn a significant amount of NIL, or one who's not earning it at all, they're the same 18 to 22-year-old kids that I was one time, and that we've seen for the last decade. So, you can look at it a lot of different ways, and to be sure, Nobody know better than Coach Saban how much things have changed, but there's a lot that say the same as well.
Speaking of how those things have changed, because we've asked the other ADs this as well, and your timing might give you the most interesting perspective on this question, because with Brian and with Jamie Pollard, when we've asked them, they've both been around long enough that this was an easy answer of how much it has changed. But I guess the question really is, is this athletic director job, is your day-to-day job right now the job that you thought you were taking? Is it the job you initially started when you took over that office?
Well, here in Iowa, the answer is probably closer to yes for me, just because of that timing question. If I think about my time in the role at other places, I would say it's a little bit different, to be sure. Yeah.
Do you like that those changes that have turned into more of, and I don't want to simplify it by saying you've turned into a fundraiser, but to cut through the conversation, does it? Yeah. Do you enjoy that morph that's happened with that position?
I do. I mean, to be sure, there's some things that I think we're all a little nostalgic for some components of the old days, at least those of us that are old. So, we like some of that. But I think, I mentioned this before, just that the opportunity to be creative, to really dive in, you're a little entrepreneurial, you get to do some new things. And, we talk about this with our team here all the time, but it's just a new puzzle that we get to put together. And if you enjoy the people you're doing it with, I think it's really exciting. So it's, I think in the last, I kind of used COVID as sort of the catalyst for that. Although, this has been brewing for a while around NIL and paying student athletes. But, I think we're probably about 4 or 5 years into this now, and it's going to look different.
One thing that I think I've been wrong on, maybe not every place, but I said when NIL was growing and people were making more and more money, I said, hey, the day and age of the facilities races are over. All that money's going to go to players now. That's not the case in Iowa right now. You're starting a field hockey renovation. I believe baseball renovations going on. Carver Hawkeyes coming up. How do you find money for facilities and still find money for it's just getting bigger and bigger. I thought the facility stuff was going to come to an end, but it's not.
Well, I think it's I think they're unique scenarios, right? And certainly the ones you mentioned on our campus. And so one, particularly facilities that are funded by donors and that are philanthropically supported, which is all of ours at the in the state of Iowa. But donor intent has a lot to do with it. So donors they're going to support what they're passionate about. And so if you find a donor, and I'll just use field hockey in particular, and there's certainly more than just one, but we had a significant supporter of that project to see that through. And that's where their interests lie. And so I think sometimes you're going to see facilities projects that are needed, but are supported by those who are specifically passionate about a particular sport. And those things I think will continue to happen over time because, people love the place they played or, they really believe in field hockey and baseball or whatever it might be. But in big picture terms, like Carver project for us, one, there's some things that have to be done because it's 44 years old and if we don't do them, they're not going to function properly anymore. But the other side of that is the investment we're making in Carver is going to generate annual revenue. And that's the key. So what's your return on that investment? And the return on that investment, to some extent, is that it's going to stay standing, right, for another 40 years, hopefully. But it will also allow us to generate more revenue. And so for us, that's through, in that project in particular, premium seating, some other uses of the facility. And so that's really the question I think you're asking. And we will be asking around facilities or anything else we do right now is what's the return on investment? Does it help us win? Does it help us graduate our athletes, or does it help us generate revenue to keep all 22 of our sports floating?
Was there ever a discussion? Gosh, I remember when Carver Hawkeye was built. That shows you how old I am. It's still the house that Lute built in my household, right? So it is. Was there ever a discussion, being 44 years old, to replace Carver Hawkeye and build something brand new that you could fit all your premium revenue bill to go, okay, if we can spend 50 to 70 million to renovate, or we can spend a couple $100 million, get something really nice where we know we can generate revenue. Was that ever on the board to replace Carver Hawkeye? Just curious.
Well, I think you just you just laid out the extent of the entire discussion. A couple $100 million. I mean, to do what you're talking about, and the ROI on that would be so far down the road. I mean, you'd be leveraged in terms of debt. And so the interesting thing that we're trying to do right now, it'll be the first time we've done this here. We've taken out some loans and in our other projects. This will be completely philanthropically funded, meaning we would be able to generate revenue immediately once it's constructed. But the difference between, again, 50, 60 million and 300 plus million is
made the question pretty easy.
So yes, it was discussed. I'll tell you, it's a pretty short discussion. There just isn't a financial path or a return in the short term that made that make sense.
So you didn't let the architects come in with renderings of new play, because if you see the shiny new thing, you're like, I gotta have that.
Not with that price tag.
Yeah, please do not show me a house I can't buy. Right? We say that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's really good. All right, so you've kind of maybe answered this one as well with a lot of these questions, because all of this is nibbling around the same thing of how do you judge success as an athletic director? I think most fans, we see your job as winning football and basketball games and winning championships. It's much bigger than that, as you've kind of laid out here. What does success look like for you, or maybe for your bosses?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing, winning, we don't want to hide from. It's okay to say we want to win, right? Our fans want to win. We want to win. Our coaches and athletes want to compete at the highest level for championships. And, so that's certainly a goal. We still, it is incredibly important. And I think you'll hear all of our coaches say this, not because we ask them to, but because they believe it. But our job is to help our student athletes get a degree, and prepare them for the next 40, 50 years of their life. And sometimes for them, that's, we got a lot of young men playing, suiting up here for practice with the NFL right now and playing in some other sports. But if that's a part of it, it's great. But, we want them to earn their degree, make sure they're pursuing a path to do something that they feel like they're going to be successful in for the next 40 or 50 years. So that investment in young people, helping them be better community members, better, mothers and fathers and all of those things is incredibly important. I think that goes to maybe what the third piece of that puzzle would be, which is, it's just really important that we do things the Iowa way. We're not a win at all cost institution. That's not who the people in our fan base is. I mean, it's important that we represent the Hawkeye fan base in a way they're going to be proud of, and that we, that I think through that we can continue to be competitive and make sure we're graduating those athletes.
Not win at all costs, but I do have a question when it comes to NIL funds, because I'm sure you got to go to the same well year after year. Have you had a donor, and I'm not asking for names or anything, but just go, hey, what's my return on investment? Or do they do that out of the goodness of their heart for the Iowa way? I mean, I would believe that if you want me to give you money, I want something in return for money, and that is wins. Have you had donors go, what do I get in return?
Yeah, I'm not sure I've had it phrased exactly that way, but I'm sure it's part of the sentiment. And there are plenty of people that don't philosophically don't support that they're receiving NIL.
Yeah.
I think over time people are getting accustomed to that, and some understand it, but that's not where they would choose to invest their own resources, right? So, and that's just about meeting donors where they are. But in a big picture way, and I think over time we'll start to see, it's just another component that leads into building a successful program. And so no different than those that are going to contribute to the Carver Hawkeye renovation project, they also want to see us win, right? Those that are contributing scholarship dollars want to see us win. And so I think it's all a piece of the puzzle. I think, probably before revenue sharing became permissible with the House settlement, in the way that people were working with collectives, and in our case, the Swarm, there was a lot of, can you donate this for Billy? It was $1 for a particular student athlete. And I think now that the House settlement has passed and we're sharing some revenue directly, and all the ways in which we can try to partner with sponsors and corporations for above the cap, it's not quite as individual. So it still exists in a whole, but I think it felt a lot different. Maybe to your point, if I gave you cash, I might want something from you individually in return. But I think now there's more of a collective understanding that this is part of just, it's a big part, but part of what it takes to put together a successful program.
I think that return can look like a lot of things also. It can look like access. It can, there's other things that can be there besides we're going to win games. But that's what we all want as fans, I think. When people are donating, though, Beth, it can still be, you still get donations, like you said, where people say, listen, I don't want any of my dollars going to pay the players. I'd like my dollars specifically go to facilities like we were talking about with field hockey or those things before. Those were very specific donations that came in.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Okay. I think, anytime you're fundraising and building those relationships. And by the way, that's one of the most exciting things I get to do, because it's all about getting to know people better, right? And how you find out where their passions might align with your needs. And so, but that's where the sweet spot is, right? It's not just, hey, support the Hawks overall. While some may say, hey, you can put this towards the area of most need, I think most people are pretty passionate about something. It could be scholarships. It could be a facility. It could be, this is the sport that, I grew up going to watch with my dad. I mean, it could be a lot of different things. And when we do our jobs right, all we're doing is connecting their passion, to something that might meet that moment.
From our vantage point, it felt like that passion point. There was a major change when you with the hiring of Coach McCollum. What did you attribute that to? Did you, first of all, was that true? Was that passion for the basketball team reignited? Did you see that right away? Is it something that we perceived as fans a little more than you did in the office?
Yeah, I think sometimes change. People are intrigued with change generally, and so. He just did, I think, a wonderful job. One, if you were going to draw up the profile of an Iowa basketball coach, born in Iowa City, grew up loving the Hawks, and has had some success already, you probably would have, just run right into Ben McCollum. And so I think they were really energized to begin with, because they felt right away that he was one of them, right? He was a lifetime Hawk fan. But yeah, it'd be hard. I know now we can think back about the Elite Eight, right? But even before that, whether it is, what I heard directly, more people buying tickets, showing up to games. I think there's there was an enthusiasm and a willingness to engage and really want to support what he was going to do.
Does the Elite Eight make it easier to get that money for Carver Hawkeye? Meaning, let's say they wouldn't have made the NCAA tournament. Would you still have done the renovation to Carver Hawkeye? Would the money have been there? Or does this make it a lot easier to do those renovations?
We still would have done that. And I think, I think making the NCAA tournament, we were pretty excited about that. So I don't think it would have changed our direction. But does it make it easier now? I think anytime any of our programs do anything that strengthens our brand, it helps everybody. And so it helps Carver when football's successful. It helps Carver when basketball's successful. I think it gives us a chance to talk more about football, right? So you get a little bit, I think you get a little bit of bump from every great thing that happens in athletics and across our university. And so, yeah, it's a lot easier to be heading into, sort of the final run of fundraising, coming off an Elite Eight, with Jan having a great program coming back, obviously success of wrestling and all of those things. So I think the timing did work out better than perhaps if you were on a downward trend.
Okay, you say success of wrestling. There will be some passionate wrestling fans who say wrestling has not been successful. Let's have the conversation.
It's true.
Wrestling in the state, as you know, is up there with football and basketball. What are your expectations for wrestling?
Yeah, well, we have two wrestling programs now, so we get to talk about both of those, and they both obviously utilize Carver Hawkeye Arena, as does gymnastics, by the way. But there's no doubt. And I say, hey, listen, the expectations in wrestling are incredibly high. That the fan base has, that we have, that I have for wrestling. Nobody has higher expectations than Coach Brands. And so, it's, for those that have led a program that, has won championships, it's really hard when you're finishing second or fourth, and then another sport that might be considered, something people are excited about. But we certainly are not going to rest on that. And so I know he's hard at work. My job's to support everything that he and the program need in order to compete with all of the programs. Certainly Penn State's on a run.
Yeah.
Penn State's on a run like Iowa had, right?
Yeah.
And that came to an end, and this one can come to an end too. But you've got to be persistent, and it takes a lot of things falling into the right place. Certainly the right young men and some health and all those other things fall into it. So they've done a really great job up there, and we're going to have to do a monstrous job to take them down. But believe me, we're going to get after it.
Luck and talent are two of the things, right? But what are some of those things when you say try to get them the things they need? What are the things that are lacking right now at Iowa that maybe a Penn State has, or some of the other? What are those things when you say try to get the wrestling team what they need? What are they still needing?
Well, I'm not sure it's any significant gap, but I think just as you evolve, whether it's the science and technology components across all of our sports these days, it is, and wrestling from a physical standpoint is, is probably more dynamic than any other sport. The amount of training versus the time they're actually on a mat is pretty incredible. But I think they've really leaned into some of the sports performance aspects, and with the tools that go along with measuring, are they eating right? Are they getting the right amount of rest and recovery? All of those different pieces of the puzzle. And so, they certainly have a beautiful facility, and not to say we're lacking anything, but it changes. And I think the second that any of us get complacent, somebody else is going to be out there looking for the next edge. And we certainly just don't want to be one of those programs.
We've had several listeners ask about some of the memorabilia in the background, Trav. So when we get back, I do want to ask. I do notice I don't see any of the old floor. Why?
Well, that'll be here. I'll have some of that in here, I think, soon. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, we're not. I think maybe there might be an opportunity for many people to perhaps have some of that old floor. So keep your ears and eyes open for that.
You're going to run it through a wood chipper and sell the pieces?
No. We
little squares.
Yes.
Does Caitlin get the little 22? Does Caitlin get the 22?
Yeah. Well, if we would certainly not be moving that to anybody but her, but it's possible as we design the new facility that we might find, I think we might find a way to utilize some of that in the new facility.
Okay.
And in the new facility renovation. So we'll look forward to that for sure.
Beth, hang on with us. We got to pay some bills. If you allow us to take a commercial break, and we'll be back. It's about a 4-minute break. But I do want to remind, sometimes the keys of feeling better comes from just being seen for what you need. Urology Center of Iowa has a dedicated men's health wellness center with services from low testosterone to managing the effects of aging. But more than that, UCI is a place to go when you want to be seen like a man, not a patient. You don't want somebody else's treatment. You deserve yours. Schedule an appointment with UCI today at iowauro.com. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job millionaire. A front row tickets to every show millionaire. A hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie millionaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles millionaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and we're kicking off the summer with an all-new, brand-new, from-the-ground-up, redesigned ES350 in stock. Come check it out. And we have some additional June specials, up to $6,000 off on RZ or 0%, and we have 3.75 for 48 months across the board. See your sales consultant for more details. I invite you to stop in and experience amazing, or visit us online at willislexus.com.
So I think what's unique about Urology Center of Iowa is that we are a truly independent, single specialty clinic.
We have a mantra that the patient comes first, the group comes second, and we as individual surgeons come last.
When I meet with a patient for the first time, I want them to feel heard. I never want them to feel like I'm in a rush.
Just watching the change that you can make in a patient's life, it's everything.
Schedule an appointment at iowauro.com.
Fresh, wild walleyes. This summer, point your compass north to Ballard's Resort on Lake of the Woods. Ballard's Lake of the Woods long-standing family resort offers a pole-in-hand guided fishing experience along with all-inclusive packages that include lodging and meals. Chase 10-pound trophies with the walleye capital of the world's most established fleet. Your adventure for fresh, wild walleyes awaits at Ballard's Resort. Set the hook at ballardsresort.com.
Hi, it's Noel. At Fiskus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiskus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner of Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. Whoop. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Here at Willis Infinity, we have some exciting new things going on, starting with the all-new QX65. We currently have 2 on the ground and more on their way. On top of that, we have all-new 2027 QX60s with rates as low as 2.9% out to 60 months or $3,500 in retail cash. Also, select models, you can lease it for $899 with just $899 due at signing. And finally, for our flagship, we have 0% out to 60 months on the all-new 2026 QX80 or up to $10,000 in retail cash. For more information on these exciting new models and more, visit us online at willisinfinity.com or stop by our showroom.
The Rush, presented by Willis Automotive, returns now with fresh sports takes and at least one unnecessary rant.
Hey, when you're looking for a mortgage for your home, Gary Presnell is the man to call. He's a banker with Northwest Bank, financing residential homes the past 25 years, offers a variety of loans, and he can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less. Give Gary a call today at 515-975-6767. Our Hour with the AD series continues. Our guest today is Beth Goetz, athletic director at the University of Iowa. It's been an engaging first half hour. We got another 30 minutes to go. Beth, football season just right around the corner. I'm sure you get asked this a lot. How often do you sit down with Kirk Ferentz and say, how many more years you got left?
Well, I'm not sure we sit down and do that, but I sit down with him almost every week, with a few exceptions. So, if you just look at what he's been doing over the last 5-10 years, I mean, he's got one of the best records in the country. The team's firing all cylinders, and I think he's having a lot of fun doing what he's doing. I tell you, you line him up next to some of the other Big Ten coaches, and I think we got one of the healthier ones in the bunch. So, I think he loves what he's doing, and as long as we're having success and he's excited to continue on forward, we're going to be pretty happy about that.
We knew he had a long track on the train when we asked him last summer, like, Coach, what's retirement look like for you? Have you ever asked him this, Beth?
What would he do? He doesn't have many other hobbies. He'll tell you that.
He's going to coach football.
His family. Yeah.
He told us, he's like, what retirement looks like. If I could be an offensive line coach somewhere, We're like, Coach, that's not retirement. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But do you have, there's may not have the conversations with him, but at some point, you've got to have a plan in place of a 2-year plan, a 5-year plan. Here's maybe a better question. Are you one of these athletic directors that keeps a list of names in your drawer, or will this be something that you will refer to like a hiring committee to do? Are you planning for this to happen soon?
Yeah, well, we don't need anybody breaking in my office and looking for an inning or two right now. But I do think it's our job all the time to be tracking on the national landscape. And, obviously with Coach Ferentz, it may be because, at some point he may decide that he is ready to retire. I hope that some points down the road a little bit. But regardless of which coach we're talking about, there's always a risk there, right? Whether particularly when they're having success, is there another opportunity? Are the pros calling? It doesn't matter sometimes, by the way, if they've been here for 9 months or 27 years. And so, yeah, you're always paying attention. And I think, that's part of our role. And that landscape changes consistently on the outside too. So it's not like you make you make sort of a list in your head of this is what I would think about, because there's changes again. So just a constant, I think, evaluation, trying to be as prepared as you can for when that moment happens, even if you're hoping that moment is down the road quite a ways.
You use the 9-month reference. I'm going to assume, and you can tell me I'm full of it, that's the Ben McCollum to North Carolina talk. When that does happen, does a coach come to you and say, hey, I'm talking to somebody, or does a university call you and ask for permission? I'm starting to think that's all out the wayside. Or do you find out about it through news stories like everybody else?
Well, yes, it's out the wayside, the calling and asking for permission. That certainly that doesn't happen. But most contracts, by the way, require that there's some sort of conversation that takes place. But I think it's really about your relationship with the coach. At what point they would engage with you and communicate. So, ironically, I think Ben might have been asked, and I was in the room early on about it, and he said, this must have been at the Elite Eight. I happened to be in the room, and he's like, the second I know, my wife's going to know about it, and Beth's going to know. And at that time, he hadn't been contacted. So, but yeah, I think it's all about an open dialogue and engagement, and wanting to be able to support people through that.
By the way, and I've said this all along, because some people get so upset when somebody interviews for a job or is talked about. I'm like, that means you have the right person. If somebody wants your coach, that means you've got the right person in place.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that doesn't mean we're not doing everything we can to obviously keep our staff, Ben, for sure. But, this happens with our administrative staff and assistant coaches all over the place. And it's a good thing when they're desired. And by the way, it's a credit to everybody else around them that helped make them successful. It's never just about one person. But yeah, it's, you certainly want to make sure you're doing everything proactively to try to prevent that on the front end in terms of them seriously considering those things. But yeah, it's a partnership to make sure they know we're all in the same place, have the same shared goals, and can continue chasing their dreams.
I want to follow up. That's the good part of it. Part of your job is sometimes you have to let people go. And when that happens, are those conversations short? Are they ever confrontational? How far in advance have you already made up your mind that has to happen? And what is that like when you have to let somebody go?
And I'm not talking just about Iowa, but I've not really had many that have been confrontational. Typically they're short conversations. I mean, I don't know that most of them don't happen out of the blue, right? So whether or not the final decision has been made or not, there's been ongoing discussions or concerns in and around whatever the topic might be. And sometimes it's just time for a change, and I think I remember the very first time I was ever even a part of one, and I wasn't even in the AD role at the time, and we kind of gone through it. And I think my AD at the time was like, hey, let's go to lunch. And I'm like, go to lunch. I'm still like, these are people's livelihoods, and they got to pack up and move their kids. And he said, hey, the second this gets easier for you, you need to do something else, because it tells you just didn't care about them the right way. So, I think, it's always important to have an ongoing dialogue, but, our role here is to evaluate what's best for the institution. And it seems, like a throwaway to say it's not personal, but it's not about the individual, short of somebody making bad ethical decisions. It's just a matter of, is it the right time to have a leader in place. And those are challenging for everybody. And certainly they, everybody gives a lot of themselves, of their lives, their families give a lot to a particular institution. And so you're really thoughtful when you do have to make those decisions, and try to make the best one you can with all the information you have.
Can I ask some fun questions?
You can ask anything you like.
All right. So some people in the chat were asking, they saw football in the background. They wanted to know, this is a very specific one. They were wondering if the football is signed by anybody.
No, it's not signed.
Okay.
But Coach Ferentz gave that to me after our 31-14 win at Minnesota.
Okay. Nice.
So, yeah.
What is your favorite piece of memorabilia that you have, either in the office or at home? What's your favorite piece of Hawkeye memorabilia that you've grabbed so far?
Oh, it's really hard to pick a favorite. Man, it'd be difficult not to say the piece of the net that I had on the way to the Final Four with the women's team in my first year. So
that's pretty cool.
Those moments are pretty hard to pass. But yeah, a lot of great memories for sure.
That's a fun one, Ski, because that's one that
nobody else can get, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I was getting at. That's one that isn't available at Rally House. You can't go to JCD and Hobby and go get and go get that. That's okay. Very cool. You were thinking there for a minute. There were some other ones that were popping in your head.
Well, I don't know about, I am a minimalist by nature.
Okay.
So I don't, there's not that, because it's not the trinket, it's everything else that you got to experience. That's, usually the special part of it. So, yeah.
So you've got I'm going back to revenue, and I hate to go backwards, but you got the Savannah Bananas coming to town, going to be playing at Kinnick Stadium. Do you see the stadium and Carver Hawkeye getting used more in different ways in order to draw revenue to the athletic department?
I do. And I hope it does. And of course, you got to be mindful of everything else we have going on in there. But you have these, some amazing facilities, and, Kinnick's the easiest one to think about it, because for the most part, you play on that 7 Saturdays a year, right? Those are incredibly important 7 Saturdays. So how do we, honor and take care of the facility, but utilize it in a way that can be a little bit more helpful. So that'd certainly be a piece of the puzzle here. And, I missed all the good times in Carver Hawkeye Arena. I mean, some of those concerts that we had here, sign me up. I would have gone to, I think I would have purchased quite a few tickets back in the day.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, there you go. You too. I mean, it is an impressive list, but I think we'll do some of that here as well. But it's going to be creative use of the resources that we have available.
I don't think I ever saw a concert at Carver Hawkeye Arena, Trav.
Really?
No, I don't think. As you just said that, I was thinking, I don't think I ever saw a show there.
Well, when we put one in there the next time,
I'll be there. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. That's great. All right. What has been? Well, go ahead, Trav.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what has been your favorite moment as athletic director so far?
See, you keep trying to narrow it down to one moment, and that's really hard.
Tell me your top. Tell me your top 5.
22 kids here, 22 children, and you can't just pick one. The ones that are really probably most important to me aren't ones that'd be exciting to anybody else. I mean, they're like the small interactions that happen with a student athlete, a fan, or a coach, where you just, I don't know, you get to feel like you're a part of the family and part of the team. Because there's still, I can still remember, that was just years ago. Caitlin's been out now, but being like across the street downtown, getting coffee or something, and she's yelling at me across the street, like, waving hi. And I'm thinking, Caitlin Clark. Now you think about this, Caitlin Clark recognizing you and those types of things. But, I get to walk in and out of the building with so many of our athletes is really great. We go on these iClub tours, and they get to spend this quality time with our coaches. We had one this year. We're coming back from Carroll, and I've got Coach Ferentz and Coach McCullum and Coach Jensen, and I think I'm trying to think who else was, maybe, I don't know if it was Jen Llewellyn, from gymnastics, or Tom Brands might have been with us, but just the camaraderie that group has. I mean, that feels like it's like our team. So those are the really special ones.
Mm-hmm.
But, certainly whether it's the Final Four runs, I mean, that Elite Eight, I mean, I turned around and there was a gentleman who's a fan, a supporter, an alum of the Hawks after the Florida game. We're in the stands, and as I leave the stands to go down with the team, I mean, he's just in tears. Mm-hmm. And he grew up going to basketball with his dad. And so in that moment, you start to realize just the different types of impact that sport has, certainly on the young guys that are playing, but what that meant to him and to be around that. And so we were traveling with him is great. And of course, my favorite moment from this year, which I keep telling everybody, but man, that first hit we put on Pavia, there's been a lot of great football moments, but there was just something special about that. And then going on to win that game this year, that was a lot of fun.
Beth, I don't think you know how many hearts you win over when you say that right there. I don't think that's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
You mentioned strong supporters, and Brad Heinrichs, full disclosure, is a good friend of ours. He's on the show quite a bit with us. What is the relationship with the Swarm? They've tried to put on some events. They had to cancel the Des Moines event. They had to cancel the Quad Cities and Iowa City events. Would you rather have that all just come in-house now, or what are the discussions like with Brad in keeping the Swarm alive?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think it would be really difficult to think about where we would be as a department without Brad Heinrichs.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great supporters, and Brad is one of those. But in this particular space, I mean, he stepped up at a time where we needed that. And that predated me a little bit, but I just think those are the moments where somebody came in and said, "Hey, we're not going to let Iowa fall behind." And so, just really grateful to him for all that he did and the Swarm does, and everybody that supported the Swarm, over that period of time, and continues to do, for that matter. But I don't think that should get lost. That wasn't just a person. That was if that organization didn't step up. I mean, I think we would have been still trying to climb out from that. So, Brad's been such a wonderful supporter. Obviously, he wore the uniform. It means a lot to him. And as we continue to talk, I don't know if it's a rather scenario in terms of what it looks like going forward, but we haven't been able yet to find a sustainable way in which the collective can operate in these current rules, at least the rules we have, at 7:45 this morning. I think it's possible. We are talking about, hey, do we bring that all in-house, because we've sort of figured out how to make the in-house side work. But it's not necessarily a choice. It's just a matter of that might end up being what makes sense for Iowa based on where the rules are right now.
Yeah. Have you had trouble with the clearinghouse at all? You hear some horror stories. How's the clearinghouse been for Iowa athletes? And, is $600 the right number? That seems like a stupid number to me, but that's my personal opinion. What should that to me, it should be like a $5,000-$10,000. I don't know, but have you had trouble with the clearinghouse at all?
Yeah, I'm going to answer the second part first, just because so I don't forget it in my response. But the 600 is a reporting, but there is a level that's set where it gets scrutiny. So it might take care of both things. So basically, it makes you report everything over 600. But I think the question that really is most important is, where's the scrutiny start? Is that it wasn't at 600, but I think they've looked at that a couple times and keep lifting it, to your point. So you may get to a place where $10,000 or $15,000 or whatnot is sort of, negligent. And so it has to be in the system so we can kind of track it, but you're not really looking into it. In terms of challenges, no doubt there's been some that have had issues across the country, but for the most part, we really haven't. Some of the Swarm deals and outside deals have been a little questioned, but we've worked closely with Learfield, our multimedia rights partner. And as we've done some of those pairings, I think, we've been able to put them through and they've been accepted pretty easily. There's some nuance back and forth, but we haven't had any of the significant challenges that we've heard that other institutions have had. It does take a while. And I think it's getting quicker. But we haven't had significant challenges there.
As you navigate all these changes with the conference and with the NCAA, how closely has your relationship with the president changed in any way, or what is that relationship like?
Well, I feel really fortunate because I think my relationship with President Wilson has been great from the beginning. I mean, she's been a great ambassador for athletics. She is genuinely a sports fan.
That helps.
But I would say for her, or for any president in the Big Ten, or actually anywhere in the country, I doubt they thought they were going to spend this much time talking about college sports. And I'm appreciative that she hasn't, seen that as sort of a hindrance, I suppose. She's they meet quite regularly, the Council of Presidents, with with our commissioner, with Tony, and she's really dialed in. But you do have to be in regular communication. And one of the things I would say about Iowa that I just really like is there's such a great alignment. And that is just critically important, particularly when there's a lot of change. But everybody wants athletics to be successful, and everybody wants campus and healthcare and all of our colleges to be successful. And I think you really get that sense of community and everybody working hard to make sure all of those things can be at the highest level. And so she's had to put in a lot of time, continues to do so. Probably knows more. She probably knows more details now about athletics than I ever thought she would have to. Given all these changes, but I can't say enough about her and the team around her and how they've helped us to continue to try to meet the moment.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, Iowa was probably at the forefront when it came to gambling, both Iowa and Iowa State. It's been back in the news again lately with Brendan Sorsby. What is the education process like for your student athletes when it comes to gambling? Because the temptations are out there. Everywhere you look, there's an ad for DraftKings or something like that. How much education goes into the student athletes about gambling?
Yeah, it's pretty, it's certainly pretty significant. No doubt the latest issues with Sorsby have sort of opened an old wound, and I'm glad it ended where it has, at least to date. I think that's a better spot. But our education efforts are pretty robust, and we had education in place, before our concerns here. But I think arguably the world around us has beefed up their engagement efforts, with advertisements and things like that. And so, we've added a handful of new components, and you've got some basic things like intro meetings and regular reminders, particularly at times when there are high betting. So whether that's Super Bowl and March Madness, but we bring in, guest speakers that have had gambling issues and ones that we think might resonate more with our student athletes. And then probably the most significant change we've made is we have a partnership with a company called Prohibet.
Oh, yeah. We heard about this from Cincinnati. Cincinnati,
As a too. So that's less on the education piece, but you bombard them with education, and the Prohibet, really all of our athletes, and by the way, our staff, because we aren't permitted to wager either. It basically will trigger an alert before the bet can be taken. And so so you have that system in place. And so one, it catches them, but hopefully it's a deterrent because they know it's out there.
So, there's no doubt they spend a ton of money. And I don't know this when it comes to Learfield, but is that kind of a double-edged sword? I mean, do you allow gambling advertising on your games, and would you ever allow gambling advertising at Kinnick or Carver Hawkeye?
I appreciate you sort of recognizing the nuance of it, right? Because you can look at it in a lot of ways, right? It's contradictory in terms of any engagement with a casino, and how are you, trying to educate people to stay away, but yet there's resource over here. I mean, to date, what we've done is really engage with things other than the wagering components at casinos, because casinos have a lot of things, right? Restaurants, golf courses,
shows.
Yeah. So, you're sort of splitting hairs there. There's the other side. And right now we've not discussed doing any sort of, it'd be hard to think we're going to ever do anything directly with one of those gambling agencies, but you're also torn a little bit because they're making a lot of money off of our student. Literally off our student. It's the most direct connection almost you can make, short of TV, but they are, sometimes gambling on specific athletes, and they have no benefit. They receive no benefit from that. So it's a challenge. And, you know, we really do worry about some of the safety concerns and risks for those that might end up with a challenge. We worry about those that might be caught. I mean, if you just want to follow some of those high profile athletes' social media accounts, I mean, in basketball is actually is a bigger challenge than football on the individual side, because there's a little more prop betting, right?
Yep.
So you read some of these things that these young kids who, you know, are still trying to navigate things that are being said to them online and in direct messages. And maybe most of the time it's somebody blowing off steam who lost some money, but we're also concerned that somebody gets themselves in trouble, you know, and now all of a sudden we have an athlete that could really be the target of an unhappy gambler. So there's just a lot, I think, to consider and to take in. And, you know, you got all that, and you got the Sorsby thing, which is really about protecting the integrity of games, which, you know, on a competitive side is, you know, that's sort of the holy grail. You got to make sure the integrity of an outcome of a game is protected. But after that, it's about the safety of our young men and women.
This has been a lot of fun, Beth. We've had a chance to chat with you before, but you're really good. You're very, very polished. This is impressive. Very impressive. Thank you so much.
Well, I love being with you guys, and anytime I get a chance to talk about the Hawks, I'm happy to do so. I mean, this is a team that truly belongs to the community. I say this all the time. It's kind of like, you know, an ownership group, kind of like the Packers. That's how Hawkeye fans feel about our teams and our programs, and I just feel really grateful I get to steward that.
I mean, Beth, I started at KCCI TV back in the early 90s, and I can tell you there's been a cultural shift at Iowa, meaning I think there was a time that coaches and even athletic directors would not have done a show like this, and it seemed to be cut off. I do see an openness out of Iowa that the last couple of years that I haven't seen before, and I think that comes down to leadership and a different way to reaching out to people. So we do appreciate you giving us the time.
Well, thank you. I've sure enjoyed it. Great way to start the week, and hope you guys enjoy the rest, and hopefully you'll ask me back here soon.
Well, people are already saying we could do another hour. I know we could do another hour, but we want to be respectful for your time. And hey, have a great week. And football's just right around the corner, so enjoy the rest of your summer.
All right, go Hawks. Take care, everybody.
Go Hawks.
Thanks, Beth.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. Beth Goetz joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Our hours fly by.
That went really fast.
It did.
Yeah, she's really polished. She doesn't slip up, man. She doesn't slip up.
Oh, not to slip up about, is there?
No. I mean, she just is very good about the staying on point. And yeah, that was good. Concise answers.
Listens to the questions, which is really good, but very conversational. So that's good stuff. Yeah, man. One more to go. If you go to the first 3 interviews we've had, they've been all informative and different because each school has something different that they have to deal with.
I will tell you, her answer on the president's question was one that I thought was, I had said the best or anything like that, but that was really insightful of, we're lucky to have a president that cares about sports because we're bombarding them with it right now. They're learning.
If any school has a president that doesn't care about sports, especially at the Power 4 level, oh, buddy, you're in trouble
right now.
You're in big, big trouble. Man. All right, coming up on Wednesday will be our final hour with the AD series. Jamie Pollard from Iowa State going to join us on Wednesday. That'll go from 7 to 8. A lot of fun. We want to thank Beth Goetz for joining us today. Don't forget to hit subscribe to the channel. And also, if you want to re-listen to the show, you can always go to therushradio.com or also find us wherever you find your podcast. Ross, happy first day of summer, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Everybody have a great Monday. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Wade from Iowa Fireworks Farm scheduled to join us. Make sure to register online at therushradio.com.
We're going to blow shit up.
Yeah, that's right. On the Rush Freedom Feast. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines, and this summer we already have some hot offers. It is convertible season, and right now you can get a Mini Cooper S convertible with rates as low as 2.99 out to 48 months. If you're hoping for more family fun in the sun, you can get an all-new Mini Countryman with rates as low as 0.9 out to 48 months. And current Mini owners, you get up to $2,000, and if you haven't had a Mini yet, you can get up to $1,500 on top of that great rate. For more information on these exciting offers and more, visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor or us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
With the Iowa Lottery's new Millionaire for Life game, you could win $1 million a year for life. That could make you a My Dream Job is No Job-ionaire, a front row tickets to every show-yonaire, a hire a personal glam squad for you and your bestie-yonaire.
Yep, a little further.
Or just to never run out of your favorite pickles-yonaire. With Millionaire for Life from the Iowa Lottery,
And these.
you can change your life for life. Play today.
Your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Coming up now, Travis, Ross, and at least one opinion that will get somebody mad online.